Hi YouTube, this is Andy from All Things Mini, and today we are looking at a quick tutorial for a cannon fodder piece, which is just a normal orc boy. Now there's a slight caveat I would like to say about the way I paint this, mainly due to the fact that it is just a cannon fodder model, and therefore it will not be a centerpiece. So it's quick, cheap and well, not necessarily cheap, but it's quick and cheerful and a nice method that I use. The basic sort of uniform for the orc is airbrushed Khemri brown, and here you might notice that I am using a bestial brown or beastie brown for Vallejo painters for the other parts of the sort of straps and the like. Normally I use a scorched brown, but this colour, this paint pot was closest to me, and therefore I decided to use it. Now because there's a lot of browns, it's good to get a good variance there. So you know, you can use whatever browns you like, really. The orc skin, as you can see here, is a base coat of orc hide shade, and that gives me a nice good deep recess work that I can use for this particular model, well, in general, in orcs in general, really. You will notice that it seems like some of my the paint that I take from the actual paint pot seems to be coming from it neat. Now I will do that with the Narlock green, but make sure that there's not too much on the actual brush itself. But the most important thing is that to realise that I water the brush, then dip it in and use the rim of the paint bottle, certainly for GW case, as a working wet palette. Remember, keep your paints thinned. A simple base coat of bolt gun metal is used on the chopper and the slugger and any sort of other metallic things, apart from his lip ring and his earring. The highlight section for the orc skin is normally the place where I just normally keep it as that, is a Narlock green. Of course, check out the new colour schemes and what else have you, but I'm going to have to go to the old ones because that's what I got. I also flatten the brush, as you might have noticed, so that I can run it along all the raised sections of the skin, and it will leave good enough dark recesses of orc hide shade. A good choice of red, used for the eyes, as you would expect, because you know, quite nasty and evil. I used quite a fine brush. It's a 000 Rembrandt, which I normally use for eyes and very fine detail work. Be wary, because it's a fine detail brush. The paint, being acrylic, does have a tendency to dry rather quickly on the brush, so you have to work quite quickly, but try not to work too quickly to destroy your overall work on your orc. Also, I have a tendency to forget certain sections on the orc, like the odd sort of strap and what else have you, and you will notice that I do go back to it. Here we have a bleach bone, sorry, for his teeth. I try to do different sort of colours for hair and for wristbands and that kind of thing, and the hair is base coated like a Mechrite red and then highlighted with like a sort of a blood red, but then I will wash it with a completely contrasting colour to get that orky feel, and in this case, for this model, it was washed with a watered down blue ink wash. Normally for the boots, I like to leave them slightly murky brown from the overspray by the Khemri. This case, I decided to put it black to make it sort of stand out. It's something that you can do, but I feel that, you know, really my orcs, they're not going to care too much about whether their boots are clean or not, so I normally just leave it a bit like that, really, you know, just whatever, just leave it sort of slightly dirty looking. Now, one of the most important things about doing orks in general is the basic washes. You must bathe your orks in Devlin mud, or whatever the new equivalent is, to give that real sort of dirty look. It really does help in definition of the deep recesses on the skin and everything. Also, I like the metalwork to be quite dirty as well, and so I will give a copious amount of wash, like a Bad Black wash, to the metalwork, and then choose to highlight with a Vallejo Model Air Silver to give just that extra glint of sharpness and sharp edging on the bolt gun, the sharp edging on the bolt gun and the sharpness for his chopper. One technique that I like to use on some of my miniatures is a masking fluid technique that I got from my watercolour days, and basically it helps preserve the colours and the paintwork underneath. I did this on his boots because I wanted to make sure that when I airbrushed the terrain, the actual sort of the rocks and what else have you in the sand on his base, that if some of the overspray did get onto his boots, then it wouldn't have any difference, because all I have to do is just take off the masking fluid. One word of warning though, don't do this with your best brushes, and also make sure that you cover your brush that you're going to do it with a nice film of brush soap or brush safe soap in general, to help preserve your brush, because it is a liquid latex that you're using. Well, there you go. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and you can get up to some orky shenanigans fairly soon. Cheers.